Hello, this is Lord Chocolate. Welcome back to another ARK video. Today I'll be doing a tutorial on how to reset mating timers for whatever reason, and it might lead to other editing of save files as well. But let's get into it. So basically, I got these gachas recently, and I bred them together, and lo and behold, I discovered there's a day-long mating cooldown on the female, which is just way too long for me because I don't play ARK that much, and my server normally isn't running while I'm not playing. I mean, it'll occasionally be running, but it normally isn't, so that's just way too long for me. So I changed the setting in the server, and I thought, oh, that might fix it. But the changing the setting didn't actually fix this cooldown was still here, so I decided to look in, as in the changing the setting and then when I did some research, apparently this changing the setting doesn't change the cooldown for dinos that bred before the setting change. It only changes the cooldown for future breeds. So I found a way of changing the save file, so let's get on to that. One thing I will definitely make clear, and I will kind of go through a little bit more, is you want to definitely make backups of your old saves before you do any of this, and keep them until you're sure the new saves work, because it could be really bad if you end up losing your stuff. But if you don't know, your saves will be under shooter games saved ARKs in whatever server file or in your Steam apps, like, program files. For a single player, that is, it would be under program files, Steam apps, and then common, and then ARK, and then just go shooter game, saved ARKs, or not saved ARKs in this case. Saved ARKs local, probably. No. Well, it's somewhere in there. So pull up the other saved ARKs, the one that's for my server. So basically, we're going to be using the tool on this website, or that this person developed for ARK, to translate the binary ARK save file into a semi-readable format, and then we're going to go in and edit it. So I'll link this page in the description, and here is the download. So you'll want to download the zip folder one here, and once it downloads, I already have it downloaded, but you want to go to your downloads folder. So let me see, my downloads folder is right here, and you'll want to right click on the arktools.zip and then click extract all. And you'll want to click browse and make a folder for it. I made this folder called ARK Tools, but since it won't make a folder automatically, it would be ideal to make one for it, or else it'll just run in whatever folder you extract it to. So you'd select that folder once you've made it, and then click extract. I've already extracted, so I do not need to do that. But after it extracts, it should be done. It might show the folder, the extracted stuff, once it's done, if you had that check mark checked. But let's go over to ARK Tools then. Is this okay, I already have that open. So this is what should be there once it's extracted. So this is a command line program, so to make it easier to open the command line here without having to change directories or use the PowerShell, which I just don't like the GUI, the user interface, that is. So it's not really a GUI, but we'll just make a file here that's a new text document like I just did, and I just will call it CMD here. It doesn't really matter what you call it there, but you do want to put .bat instead of .text. And there we go. And if you don't see these file extensions, you want to go to View and click File Name Extension, which will show the little dot whatever. And then we're going to edit this. and type cmd and then a dot and just save. So just Control S or save, and then just run that, and it'll bring up this command prompt. So I'm going to maximize it, and we're going to do ARK Tools, and then M2J is the command to switch from a map to a JSON file, which is the JSON file, which is the type that is semi-readable. And then we're going to put in the path or the folder of the save. So we're going to go get this, like just click here, Control C to copy, paste. If there are any spaces in the path, you'll want to have quotation marks on either side to let it know that that's still the same argument for the command, because commands can often take multiple arguments, and they often think of any white space or spaces, not really white space in this case, but any spaces as a separation. So you'll want to do this, and you'll want to add a slash and then the name of the save file. So the save I'm editing is extinction.ark. And oh yes, one thing you want to do, you definitely want to make backup before you do this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is completely safe for it, but you want to copy all of this and put it in some new folder that's not going to be edited at all, and then just, if there's any corruption, you can just copy that back and replace the other stuff. So let's also, just one second, I need to turn off the server, because you want to make sure the server and the game is not running while you're doing this, because it might like have some weird overriding what you're trying to do and stuff. So just one second. So we're back, and we're going to run the or we need to add one more thing to the command. We're going to type ark-data.json and then enter. And it should create this file in our ARK Tools directory or whatever folder you made. So you can see there's an ark-data.json. So now we're going to download a tool. I already have it, but here is the page you're going to download it. You just click the download link here. This is for binary editing, so it's not really necessary, but it loads the file a lot faster than any other text editor, and it doesn't lag near as bad. Any text editor should do, but also this displays the contents a lot clearer, because even some of the nicer free text editors still kind of jumble up the contents of the folder. But this, while it's a little bit narrow columns and stuff of the contents, it's a lot faster and easier to use. So you'll download that, run the installer the way you normally install files on Windows or programs on Windows, and then we will launch that. So go launch that program. Should take a few minutes to load, and going to go to File, Open File, and then you want to navigate to the ARK Tools directory and click the ark-data.json and click OK. Then you're going to do Control Find, and you're going to want to put the name of your dinosaur in here. So temp2 is the name of that dinosaur. And then we're going to do Control Find, and then mating. And then we're going to do Find Next. Last updated mating time. Nope. Next allowed mating time you'll want to find. So next allowed mating time. You can just type next allowed mating time with exactly the same capitalization into the find thing. And once you find your dinosaur, and it should work as long as you don't scroll or move to a different part of the file, because then it might jumble it up and it'll find a different case of a different dino's next allowed mating time. But here it is. and here is the number you want to change. It's after it, so it's name next to loud mating time, type double property value, and then you want to change this. So a value that I found worked pretty well, results in almost no time, and it definitely doesn't glitch as far as I have seen, is just delete, just, you know, use the delete key on your keyboard, or I guess you can backspace also, and just leave a 2 there because that's short enough that it'll be gone in just a few minutes or less than minutes. I actually haven't gotten on the server fast enough to see it disappear, and then the dino actually mates, and we'll start mating and stuff again, as if it's still mating allowed, and then replace this with just zeros just in case, except for the 6-4. This is what works for me. You can try other values, just I can't guarantee they'll work because I don't know all the workings of this inner thing and exactly what units these values are for. But once you have it like this, I know it will definitely work, so just save, and, well, 1 second actually, Control Z, 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 Z. Okay, you want to copy this value, Control C, and then you want to copy the value because we'll have to edit it again in the anti-corruption backup, because the ARK will compare the save to the anti-corruption save, I believe. I'm not positive on this, but that's my theory as to why my original attempt to edit this value didn't work out. And then it will, if they're different, it will use the anti-corruption one to remove any modifications. So now that we've got that copied, and we can save this and click yes. And then we're going to get the command line up. You shouldn't have closed it, but if you did, you can just double click on that CMD here thing again, and then we're going to type ARK-Tools M2J, and then we're going to put that exact same address in there if you had it up already. If you've had it up for, like, haven't closed it or anything, it should still have the previous command saved, so you just press the up arrow and it'll put it in there. And we're going to change this to arcdataback.json. Name doesn't really matter as long as it's a JSON file, and here the name does matter. You'll want to change it to extinction or whatever map it is, and then anti-corruption backup.back, and then we should be good. As long as nothing pops up before it brings back up the cursor and this little directory path, it should be good. So let's make sure it generated the file, and it did. So we're going to go into here and click File, Open File, and then ARK Data Back, and then it should take a second. And now we're going to do Control F to find, and Control V. Okay, I think I missed that value. I was going to copy the 168, whatever value it was, 168. Oh. Okay, I think we might be having to make sure you have the value properly, because it looks like I did not. I know the general area of the file though, so let's just go Control find, just do it the way we did last time. So we're going to find temp2, and then we're going to do Control F, and then next allowed mating time, and then we're going to go to this value, and we're going to do delete, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then Control save. I want to make sure that's exactly the same as in the other file, which it is. So we can now make sure these are both saved and just close that. And now we can run ARK-Tools J2M to convert from JSON back to map. And then we're going to put ARK data.json and then extinction.ark, or whatever ARK map it is. Do that. And then same thing, except extinction, change it to ARK data back.json to extinction anti-corruption backup dot back. So there we go. And then we should just type exit. And we have these two files here. So we're going to copy these two files. Just copy. And then go to our save folder. And make sure you've backed everything up before you paste these in. Because when you paste them, you're going to want to replace what's in there. And when you replace it, if you don't have backups, you're in bad shape if anything goes wrong or you made any serious errors in editing. So let's paste, replace files in destination, because I have this backed up. And then we're going to do, well, we don't necessarily need to close that, but I'm going to start up the server and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, let's launch up the game. The server has started, and hopefully not too much time has elapsed. It's just been a few minutes. The server takes between 5 and 15 minutes to start normally. I think that was about 10 minutes maybe. So as you can see, not only did the mating cooldown get completely turned off, but they've actually mated again now that the not sure if that was just in the time that it took for me to log on, or if it was something to do with the editing, but I mean, I don't really see any flaw with that, as long as you make sure to get on quickly after the setting change. But hopefully you can see that this is pretty useful, and as far as I know, there's no negatives other than if you make a mistake and it corrupts the file. So as I said many times, make sure to back up. Hope you enjoy.